This is just a quick review of some of the concepts we talked when we were talking about producing speed. And as a group, we decided that really good sequencing helped create speed. So I just have some different tools that are available to you to kind of help you remember sequence for power and speed. I'm going to start with frisbee. Throwing a frisbee motion for us right-handers in our lead hand, our left hand, very similar to the golf swing. Even some of the wrist movement is pretty similar to how we'd like to move that golf club around us with our hands, arms, and wrists. And while you're making your frisbee throwing motion, everybody quickly came to understand that they kind of move pressure to their forward foot, or their lower body would transfer weight to their forward foot while their chest kind of stayed back. And once they got their body in position, they would kind of just fling that frisbee. And if we decided to do it with our trail hand, we just decided it was a good idea to hold it differently or hold it from underneath and make the same throwing motion. We also decided that using a rope was we'll say a difficult way, but a really way to enhance the idea of what good sequencing is, or where we're kind of hearing the whoosh of the rope and how the rope moves around us. So our body really has to organize to get in position. So if we pull on the rope at the wrong time, or I decide to pull the rope really early and not move my body into position first, where you can saw how I had to dodge the rope so I wouldn't hit myself in the face with it. You can hear that nice whooshing. You see how it gently wraps back up around me. Also at the cliffs, they have aim sticks at all the practice stations. Well, I just took an aim stick and I put a grip on the end of it so I could hear the speed. And if you remember from phase one, we were talking about we would like the speed to be kind of right where the ball is, to maybe 4 to 8 inches in front of it. So we're trying to hear the whoosh of the aim stick in a very specific spot. And I got a lot of feedback from everybody in the class too, that swinging something that was relatively weightless, well, they realized that their wrist were more active than they had imagined them before, to really make the end of the stick whip where we're trying to get it to whip. And speaking of whip, one of my favorite training aids, the Orange Whip, and it really helped everybody feel to organize what a good sequence was. And everybody knows I recommend these. I won't get into a sales pitch at this moment. If you can remember from the class, I introduced some concepts from two great coaches, Lynn Marriott and Pia Nilsson. They have a program, it's called Vision 54. I highly recommend you kind of seeking out more information from it. I went through one of their coaching programs about 12 or 13 years ago, and I benefited greatly, not only as a coach, but also as myself as a player, using some of these experiments in my practice. And if you can recall, one of the experiments we tried is where we grip the club really, really tightly, we grip the club really, really loosely, and we grip the club somewhere in between. And we hit shots with those ideas. Another idea that I like that they have is you kind of do the same thing. So you have really tight neck and shoulders and you hit some shots. You have really loose neck and shoulders and you hit some shots, and you go somewhere in between. It's kind of dialing in your personal intensity for how tightly you're going to hold the club and how much tension you can carry in your body and still have successful fluid movement. One of my favorite ones is pretending that my arms were cooked spaghetti. And another thing that they like to add to the process, so you would kind of relax your jaw and smile at the ball, just meaning you were excited and happy to have this opportunity to hit this next shot. So you walk in there, you're imagining your arms are cooked spaghetti, give a little smile at the golf ball, and you just go ahead and let her rip. Here's another great ball hitting exercise, again, just to help you with some tension awareness. So kind of when we warm up, I talked about working all the way up the chain. All right, we were kind of doing our feet, our ankles, knees, and we got more into the pelvic region, and then we started to kind of stretch out the core and the shoulders a little bit more, and then we kind of went to the wrists and the arms. So all these coaches are asking you to do, or I'm asking you to experiment with, is just hit a golf shot, and you're just going to kind of focus your awareness to the tension that's in your feet. And if you want to even kind of do the same thing you were doing with the grip, where you feel that your feet are tense, you feel that your feet are lightly on the ground, and then you kind of find somewhere in between. And again, that helps players kind of understand what their tension level is, or their intensity is when they step into that play box to hit their golf shot. So that's one idea, right? So you think about the tension in your feet. Well, we just kind of move up the chain. Think about the tension in your legs, in your calves, and your thighs. Think about the tension in your core. Or you can kind of move up a little bit. Think about the tension that's in your thoracic area, or the middle part of your spine. And then think about the tension that's in your neck and shoulders. And then you just kind of keep alternating. So my first shot, I'm going to kind of focus and be aware of the tension in my feet. The next shot, I'm going to be more focused and aware of the tension in my legs. The next shot I'm going to hit, I'm going to be more focused and aware of the tension that's in my core. Keep on working up the chain. So this last idea is one that I really enjoy, and I really enjoy practicing it. And it's, I'm going to make golf swings, and as I'm making golf swings, I'm trying to be less tense, more relaxed, freer in movement from the start of the swing all the way to the finish. So when I'm making the swing, I'm trying to be as free from tension as I can. I know it happens really fast, and again, it's just your idea of what that concept is. Again, I'm getting more and more relaxed, freer throughout the swing. Have fun with those exercises. Remember, power is not, and speed are not necessarily effort. It's more or less you kind of dialing in your particular feels so you can be the freest swinging, but still have control of the ideas that we want to have control of. Where we're interacting with the ground, where the touch point on the face is, where the face is pointing, and which way was the club traveling as it did touch the ball. Those first 4 questions from that first class. If you have any other questions, reach out to your golf professionals. Your Cliff Slovene golf professionals are brilliant. They know how to solve problems quickly or get to causality and don't mess around with correlation a lot. Or reach out to me. My contact